2. Main, and we've got oil pressure, oil temperature rising, vibration level and hydraulic pressure. This just gets pulled out a little bit and bring it up to the top. Okay, there we go. Immediately you should get oil pressure rising. The oil temperature takes a little bit of time to come up, and then you've got hydraulic pressure coming up. So we know everything is okay there. Then they stabilise at about 20%. Okay, so once that's stabilised, that's okay. Okay, now APU beep goes off because we don't need it on anymore. Okay, so parking brake is set, isolation belts on auto, engine 1 and 2 are started. Engine 1 or 2 generators, they go on. We'll switch that one on there as well. Yeah, those lights should go off, so we've got a mismatch here with the computer, so don't worry about it.
Alright.
Turn off the APU. Right, get rid of that light. There's something going on there. Won't make any difference anyway. Okay. So, we're on the runway then. We set flat to 5 for takeoff. Okay. Now you've got a little wheel there beside you. You see that half wheel on the wall? One beside you there? Yeah. That's the tiller. That's the nose wheel steering. Up to 60 knots, that's active. Okay, after that the rudder is active. But if she stays straight, we would just let it go straight, okay?
Alright.
The rudder is huge, it's 2 stories big on a 737, so they don't use it in flight, which is what the yaw damper is about. So a little pressure on here. Something up. Anyway, that's a computer kind of thing. So on the primary flight display, you can see your VR is 130. That's your rotate. Here we've got 10,000 set up here. Anything in magenta is set into the systems.
Right.
Okay, this is your speed tape, and that's your altitude tape. 250 feet below sea level we are in Dublin. Okay, so we're going to advance the throttles. There's a little precursor, a little thing that comes along. We want to get that up to the green mark there. Okay, we can use the auto throttle, in which case you just push it to 40% and the airplane does the rest itself. But we're going to do it all manual, really. It's more fun. Here you can see Bockley is our first waypoint. It's 21 miles away. Then we're going to take a left turn, and the next turn will be Peleg, 24 miles on from that. We're going to climb at 15 degrees pitch up, so that means this is the 10 degree line. Above it is the 20. There's the 15 degree line. So initially we're going to climb at 15 degrees till we get to about 1,000 feet. Then we're going to drop the nose to about 12.5 degrees. We're going to trim it. This thing here, that's the trim wheel. On the back, the elevator moves like this, up and down. So you pull back, the elevator goes up. You push forward, the elevator goes down. That creates an aerodynamic force on the nose, on the tail. Either pushes the nose up or down. On the back of it, there's a thing called a trim tab. And usually it's an aerodynamic thing where, you know, let's say we want to hold the elevator in place backwards. Let's say we're climbing, the elevator goes up, the trim tab goes down, and that holds it in place. Instead of us using steady control pressure, because let's face it, we're going to climb to 40,000 feet. You're trying to hold this. It's very hard to hold it and to fly precisely, so we use a trim tab. Okay, so auto brake is set to RTO, projected takeoff, just in case, because again, there's differential brakes on this, so either left or right brakes would work. But if you're travelling down the runway at 130 knots, you know, using brakes is a bad idea because it could slew the plane left or right or whatever. So auto brake is set, and that, you know, evenly distributes them. So we've got 3 greens, the gear is down, and we've got the flaps are extended, and there's our flap style there, flaps 5. That'll help us take off quicker. Right, so that's basically it. That's our pre-flight. Our radios are set in here. Okay, so that's our ILS frequency for Shannon. Here on the display, you'll see it when we come close. There's a diamond, a magenta diamond that will show up here. It won't be filled straight away, but after a while it will turn solid. And that's the center line of the runway, basically. So that's how they track into the runway. The airplane will lock onto that, and they can use the OR approach. We won't be doing it by we're good to go. Okay, so one hand on the throttle, one hand on the tiller. Okay, so no, that hand there.
Yeah.
I keep my hand here. This is the procedure for pilots, and then one hand on the tiller, the other the little wheel. No,
Oh, this one here.
that one there. Because this basically works your elevation and your aileron, so you're not going to be using them up. We get to your takeoff speed. So after 60 knots, you put your hand back on the wheel. Keep your hand on the throttle. Okay,
Yeah.
as we climb. Okay, so push forward. You see the little precursor there. Okay. Oops, brakes off.